What is up, Pack Nation? It is Pack here. Now, a couple videos ago, I made a video about who are the best players at every single height. Now I want to know who are the best players of every single age. That is what I'm going to cover in today's video. Before this video starts, be an OG, join the Pack Nation, and subscribe. Starting this video off at the youngest player in the NBA who is the best at his age. It is Zion Williamson for the New Orleans Pelicans at 19 years old. He came into the league at 18 and now he's 19. And there is no one actually younger than 19. I thought there was an 18-year-old, but I guess I was wrong. Everybody is at least 19 in the NBA now, with Zion Williamson being the best at 86 overall at 19. Jackson Hayes was on the same team, who's also 19 years old, but he is only 78 overall, so it's not even really close. The next player at age 20, it is Ja Morant, already turning into one of my favorite players in the NBA to watch. This dude is so smooth, has a really skillful game. It's really fun to watch this dude play. At 20 years old, he's the best 20-year-old as an 84 overall in the NBA. The next player is on the same team, actually, of Jaren Jackson Jr. at 82 overall. You know, it's funny how Ja Morant was drafted a year before him, and yet they're the same age. I understand how that works, don't worry.
You stupid.
But still, it's cool to see. Next up at age 21, it is Luka Doncic, who's already being considered one of the best players in the NBA at the age of 21, a 96 overall. Not only that, already in MVP conversations. It's a big jump up between 20 years old and 21-year-old Luka Doncic, literally killing it in the NBA already. Now, the other player that is 21 years old and is just not as good as him is Trae Young, who people are already kind of trying to make this like rivalry between the two. Trae Young is 90 overall at 21 years old, but still, they're both really good at 21. At age 22, it is Jason Tatum. He is an 88 overall, and honestly, it could be higher really soon. Assuming the NBA starts up soon again, he has been killing it, and I think he's going to do really good in the playoffs when that starts up again. He's only an 88 overall at 22 years old, but it's going to get higher. Now, second place is actually John Collins, who's on the Hawks. So it's funny how the Hawks have two players who are the second best at their age, which is interesting to me. Bam is also 22, and also Brandon Ingram is also 22, and they're all 86 overalls, but just a little bit lower than Jason Tatum. At age 23, it is Ben Simmons. Since this guy entered the league, people had high expectations for this dude, comparing him to LeBron James when it came to his athleticism and playmaking, and rightfully so, he should be at least an 88 overall at 23 years old. Second place, though, is somebody who's really good and I have a lot of high hopes for him too, is Donovan Mitchell, who's also 23 years old and 87 overall. Hopefully, these two get better really soon so we can start up the NBA again, right? At 24 years old, it is Karl-Anthony Towns as a 90 overall. One of the best centers in the NBA at 24 years old, and if this guy could just get a little more talent on this team, he could do a lot in the league, hopefully really soon. He is right in front of Kristaps Porzingis, who's an 86 overall, but there have been times where Porzingis has had a higher rating than Cat, so they've been changing here and there, and Porzingis is only getting better. At age 25 for the Milwaukee Bucks, it is Giannis Antetokounmpo, 97 overall. Yeah, no one's really going to pass him at that rating, to be honest. The other player is Joel Embiid and also Jokic. Both are 91 overalls, but just not as good as Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's probably the MVP. For 26 years old, it is Anthony Davis. Now, one of the best players in the NBA already. And the other guy that's right there with him, not that close, but relatively close, is Bradley Beal, also 26 years old and 86 overall, both in their primes. 27 are both players that are injured or sick. Now, at 27 years old, Kyrie Irving, who's been injured, 91 overall. And then in second place, it's another player that was now sick, which is Rudy Gobert, and also 27 years old, 87 overall. At age 28, it is Kawhi Leonard, the Claw, the two-time Finals MVP, and maybe even three-time this year. We'll have to wait and see. But a 97 overall, well, actually 96 overall, at age 28. The only person that's near him is Chris Middleton, who's an 87 overall. So it's not even really that close at that age. It's just Kawhi dominating. At age 29, it is actually Damian Lillard, who's a 94 overall. Can I be honest with you guys? I didn't know Damian Lillard was older than Kawhi. I thought at least they were the same age, or maybe a year younger. I was surprised. Second place is Paul George, 29 years old, 91 overall, so not that far from Damian Lillard. At the 30s, it is James Harden, 97 overall. No one's going to be really close to him at 30 years old. While Klay Thompson's an 86 overall, and well, he's also 30 years old, so not as close as Harden, but still, I mean, NBA champ, I don't think he cares. At age 31, it is Kevin Durant, 96 overall. overall, and the only person that's close to him is his former teammate, Steph Curry, who's only 1 overall off of KD, who's also a 31-year-old. So yeah, there you go. Now at age 32, it is a giant drop off. The best 32-year-old is JaVale McGee.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, an 80 overall is the best 32-year-old. Compared to everybody else, this is still supposed to be like about your prime, but no, I guess 32 years old is like the age where you just drop off, I guess. The second best player at that age is Mike Conley, who's a 78 overall. So if Mike Conley never had this drop of the season, maybe it would be a little higher, but still. At 33 years old, it is Kyle Lowry. At that age, as a point guard, he's still killing it in the league, while the other players are also players that are still killing it for their age. I don't know about this one. Al Horford, who's an 82 overall at 33, and then the other one who's really killing it is Lou Williams, also 82 overall, 33 years old. At age 34, it is CP3. CP3 is getting old, but you know what, man? He's still killing it in the NBA, and it hasn't looked like it's been really slowing down. He's still doing really good. The other person that's even kind of close at that age is LaMarcus Aldridge, who's an 84 overall at the age of 34. At 35, I think we all know who it is. It's LeBron James, 97 overall. It's like crazy that he's that good at that age, and he doesn't even slow down. It's insane. The only guy that's even close to as good as him as that age is Paul Millsap at 35 years old, 82 overall, and even then it might not be that high for him because LeBron's just like so much better right now. And then a giant drop off again for age 36, which is Andre Iguodala, a 77 overall. It's crazy how 1 year separates these ages, and yet the best player of both ages are completely different. Iggy, 76 overall, actually, sorry, at 36 years old. And the second best is Marcin Gortat, who's not even in the NBA anymore. At age 37, it is Tyson Chandler, and there's nobody in the NBA besides him that is 37 years old. Then you got Kyle Korver for age 38, and there's nobody else in the NBA that's 38 years old besides Kyle Korver. Still a sniper to this day, though. On this team, it was Pau Gasol. I believe he's a free agent now. I'm actually not too sure, but I don't see him here. But Pau Gasol was on the Bucks earlier this year, and he was a 39-year-old, so he'd be 39. And finally, the one you're probably all waiting for, Vince Carter at 43. So 4 years jump to the next oldest person. 4-year jump for Vince Carter. That's how crazy his career is, I think, to me. That the youngest dude besides him is 39 years old, and he's not even really in the league anymore. It's a 38-year-old. So it's a 5-year gap between that person and Vince Carter. 5 whole seasons. There's dudes in the NBA that don't even play 5 seasons. That to me is really sick for Vince Carter. So here's a chart basically from 0 overall up to 100 overall, which is not possible, obviously. And then you have the age of 19 all the way to age of 43. This is the top player overall average of every single age group, and you can see an obvious decline and incline in specific situations, and I want to talk about how weird that is. Like, for example, obviously you start kind of low before 90 overall. When you're 19 years old, starts to go up. Already at the age of 21 is the peak that you could possibly get to. Starts to go back down when you're in your mid-20s. This is probably usually the second or sophomore year wall that a lot of players hit after the rookie seasons. They get worse somehow. That's like a really common thing in the NBA. And then they start to go back up, back into the 25-year-old, which is probably when the peak starts. And the peak doesn't really stop till the age of 31. So about 25 years old to 31 years old is when a lot of people expect their peak to be in their basketball careers. And then there's a huge drop off to the age of 32. Now, what this could be is a lot of reasons. Injuries usually start to happen about that age. You're not as quick as you used to be. You don't jump as high. And all of a sudden, that game that you had, you kind of need to start changing. But the weird thing is it drops to 32 and it raises every single year up to the age of 35. Now, this could be because of LeBron James, but still, on average, players are raising anyways. Now, my theory behind this is that the older you get after reaching your peak, you start to realize that your game needs to change a little bit, and every single year you work on your game to be more of a tool rather than a legit elite player, and you become really, really good as that tool, right? But then after the age of 35 is when there's a ridiculous drop off to 36, 37, and 38, which gets worse and worse and worse every single year. Now, this is my mindset. At 35 years old, it could be 2 reasons. First, it's just because LeBron James is that good, or maybe 35 is the last year that you really have a good year, and then it's just going to start dropping off. Maybe this is the final year LeBron James plays the way he does, and I would not be surprised if that's the case. And then there's a complete absence from age 39, 40, 41, and 42. And that's how crazy Vince Carter is. There is a 5-year gap between the last person at 38 years old and him at 43. 5 whole extra years missing, and Vince Carter is still in the league, actually keeping up with other 38, 37, 36 years old. That is pretty crazy to me, that from 36 to 43 is about 7 years of basketball you can still play in the NBA that is useful to a team, and that's crazy to me. What do you guys think about this list? Are there any that really surprised you? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like this channel, give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time.